What's up guys, Devin here from Naughty Boy RC, and in today's video we're looking at the newest addition to the Hero-Copter lineup from Rage RC. If you're familiar with Rage RC, you know they already have a police, sheriff, coast guard, and SWAT version of their Hero-Copter, and they recently expanded with a slightly different cab design and released their military editions featuring the Army livery we have here today, as well as a Navy and Marine option. So let's get this thing unboxed and show you what all this little RC helicopter has packing. First things first, you're gonna get a 2.4 gigahertz radio. It's gonna have all the features you're gonna need for this thing. Best part is it's a decent size. It's gonna fit in your hands very well, which is awesome considering that this helicopter is only $110. And while it may not have the stunt mode like the Volatar X, it still has that button for beginner, intermediate, and advanced flying modes, which is great because it means anybody's gonna be able to fly this helicopter, especially with that 6-axis gyro. It basically makes this thing a drone. If it's flying all willy-nilly, you can easily calibrate it once the helicopter and remote are on by simply moving the joysticks like this. But if that doesn't work and you still need a little more trim, there are full trim options for anything you may need. The main rotor comes with a 1023 brushless motor, and the tail rotor comes with a 0720. To power this little guy, you actually do get a 2S LiPo. It's a 350 mAh, and with the USB-C style charger, it's going to give you around 60 minutes of charge time, and the battery is going to last up to 12 minutes. If it's anything like the Volatar, we did get right around that 10 to 12 minute mark. Moving on to the helicopter itself, this thing looks absolutely amazing. You do have a working LED searchlight up front, as well as a blinking red taillight in the back. The tips of the rotors are all marked with a white line, so they're easily identifiable. If you accidentally break one or need to change them out, you know which side is up and down. They're a very similar style main and tail rotor to the Volatar X, which we already tested previously on this channel. We'll leave a link here if you want to watch it, but they did take quite a bit of abuse as we crashed into a lot of stuff, so I don't think durability is going to be an issue at all with this helicopter. Of course, we're going to test that out here in a little bit. This mini helicopter also features rockets and a Gatling gun on either side. Now, they don't come installed from factory, but you literally just press them right in. There's no screws or anything like that required. However, there is a lot of screws required when it comes to taking this canopy off. You shouldn't have to do that too often, but when you do, just know it's definitely a little more time involved than just popping the canopy off with 2 pins like you would on most stunt helicopters. Some other details on this little mini heli are of course going to be that Army camouflage pattern. They got the HRP and the tail number on there. They do have that cool little American flag on the top at each side, what looks like some mesh or fake carbon fiber vents up top, and of course a decent sized pair of skids, so it should be fairly easy to land. Speaking of takeoff and landing, one thing I forgot to mention, with the included radio on the top left, there is an automatic takeoff and land feature. So if you're brand new or you're uncomfortable taking off by yourself, it's basically just going to lift this helicopter up several feet into a stable hover position, and then from there you can control it however you'd like. Now, aside from the helicopters themselves, the Hero-Copters from Rage RC have some really cool features like this foam case. It's going to let you safely store your helicopters without worrying about them getting damaged. It has this nice rubber handle and these cool side locks. Feels very tactical or spy-ish. Either way, it's awesome and a great way to store your helicopter. If you do manage to have an oopsie out in the field, like most of us probably will, Rage RC already has you covered with 2 main and a tail rotor blade, as well as a hex wrench and screwdriver tool for you to fix it. Alright, so we've gone over this little mini RC helicopter, kind of showed you all the detail it has, so let's get outside and put it to the test, and most importantly, have some fun. We'll see y'all out in the field. Alright, so once you flick that button on, you turn on the transmitter, it's gonna beep. Then you go all the way up, all the way down. Now your transmitter is binded, and you can use this feature for auto takeoff and land, or you can use the throttle to go ahead and throttle up and take off. Alright, so obviously we did a manual takeoff there, and this thing just wants to go back. You try to go forward, there's no tilt at all. So we're going to run through the calibration process and the manual and give it another shot at taking off here. Go over there. It needs adjusting.
Then adjust it. I can promise you one thing, Naughty Boy RC is not behind the drones. I can promise you that the way he's flying this damn thing. There you go. It's like playing Duck Duck Goose.
In beginner mode, it basically is just a hover with very little movement, side to side and front and back. So if something goes wrong, it's kind of weird because in beginner mode, it keeps you from overcorrecting, but also if you need to correct in a hurry, you can't. Intermediate is kind of the best of both worlds, but once you fly a few packs through this, you're almost going to immediately want to go up to the expert or advanced mode. That seems to be the easiest to fly it in. You can do spins down, touch the ground, come back up. You can easily tilt the helicopter up like this and do rotations and just all the really cool stuff. And it makes it really easy because of that 6-axis gyro. This thing is so easy to fly. If you just let go of the sticks, it's going to basically correct itself and hover into place. Now that being said, be careful when you first get it. This Hero-Copter, just like our Volatar X, we were facing a slight breeze when we were flying, but both times, as you saw in the beginning of the video, when this thing takes off, it just goes where it wants to if it's not calibrated correctly. And in our case, it went directly into our cameraman. But if you calibrate it on a calm day with no breeze or inside of a gym or building, as this thing can be flown indoors fairly easily, it basically will calibrate and fly itself, and it'll give you a ton of confidence as a pilot. If you don't want to go the drone route, you want to get something pretty affordable that you can actually get parts for, I would definitely recommend this, especially if you've never flown anything. Before I got the Volatar X, I crashed anything I ever flew, drones, planes, and helicopters. That helicopter, after just a few packs, really built my confidence, and coming into this, it was like an absolute cakewalk. Not only that, this thing looks really good flying with that front light, the blinking red light in the back, and just all the scale details that this offers, paying homage to the military. So if you're interested in picking up one of these really easy to fly, super sick looking military RC helicopters, there's going to be a link down in the description. We also have our YouTube shop plugged in where you can pick up one of these, or head directly over to our website, www.naughtyboyrc.com. And remember,